Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today we're going to be talking once more about metamaterials, going with the ticker MMAT. Now in this video, we're going to be taking a look into further on due diligence, technical analysis, institutional buyers, what I think about this one, and hopefully we're going to really change your mind about this one if you are still hesitant whether to invest or not. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So my last video is in the description below. Last time, it was a bit a while ago, and I was talking about the selling of an insider. So the selling of this insider, his name is Gravis Michael James. After doing some even extensive research, this person holds more of a very bullish outstance into the oil industry, oil and gas, and he was actually director through the oil and gas operations for TRCH. And so he's basically divesting because he doesn't perhaps either understand the technology that he doesn't see a value in this technology, or he just wants to liquidate his shares from anything outside oil and gas. So don't take it as bearish in that sense, and from my opinion, but it is something to consider that this person was from TRCH, from oil and gas, not technology from metamaterials. Now, going on towards some of the information from the metamaterials slideshow or investor deck. So, a quick thing. Meta delivers breakthrough performance across a range of application and industries by designing, developing, and manufacturing sustainable and highly functional materials. So what is metamaterials? So metamaterials, if you were to look at it, this is actually a 2020 kind of invention, or more off on the spectrum. A little bit of the adaptation has increased 2020 or around there. And laboratory scales, you were able to see something like high performances, light field, concept of visibility. Now meta is more of the next thing after light fields and high performance materials and laboratory scales. So metamaterials controls on-demand unique functional properties and absorptions, emissions, sensing, transmission, and guiding of light, sound, energy, heat, as well as friction strength and electric energy. So the idea of this one is you can do this a lot faster, so speed. Meta uses AI software to design a library of patterns for different applications. Scale. Meta is one of the first companies to develop proprietary roll-to-roll production equipment, and cost. Usually it would cost a lot lower in terms of dollars per meter square. Now, what is the market opportunity? And these are actually not even, in my opinion, not limited to just these. 5G infrastructure, I'll show you how. Vehicle electrification, combined more than $3 trillion in other verticals, including advanced materials, Internet of Things, medical, energy, aerospace, automotive markets, and scarcity and control of raw materials. And the metamaterial device market is expected to grow to $10.7 billion SAM by 2030. And you get to see that currently we're on lower phases on here before even we get to see the massive growth towards that at least $10.7 billion by 2030. And in terms of some of the applications, this is the 5G reflectors. So 5G adaptation is becoming closer and a lot more often in different parts of the world. And after 5G, you got 6G. And with faster and more connective devices and faster, more connective requirements for people working from home or different offices, remotely, satellite offices, you can just imagine the need for such things in terms of improving the infrastructure. So transparent window films could be things that, for instance, places like Silicon Valley, New York, Toronto, and places where these are considered secondary or first primary advancements and tech hubs, they probably would be adapting something like this one from a provincial level or from a state level or from a city level. So that could be something that would be very interesting to put in billions of dollars. And this is one of the only companies that I know are creating transparent window films that help reflect and converge 5G signals. So other things here, window film enhances signal penetration through glass. So this is another problem that this one does solve, relating towards 5G and digital TV receptions within different buildings. Another thing here is LiDAR protection for de-ice and defog plus EMI shielding. I can imagine this one really does work well in places, for instance, like Quebec and Ontario, northern sides at least in Canada, and also places in the US like New York where it does get colder during the winter. And you get to see as well that nano web transparent sensors and 5G antennas are very much, well, transparent. And so this one here can be placed in places where it doesn't obstruct the view. And if you've ever been to an urban center, sometimes the view is disrupted by really worse looking infrastructure relating towards the telecommunication infrastructures. And solar energy is another one here, relating towards absorption, scalability, and increasing solar cell efficiency, which is huge in combating climate change. If you were to see right now, for instance, we have record highs in temperatures, fires, the list goes on, and you get to see that something like this can actually be a really good solution for the climate change, or at least puts a dent into it in that movement, in the adaptation, and needing lower solar cells per mileage. So in terms of AR Fusion, which integrates AR with prescription lenses, now here's one thing as a person that wears glasses, that I've always taken a look at AR and thought, you know, I'm feeling left out because I can't go in with prescription glasses with AR. I almost have to wear a lens in my eyes just to use an AR, which is kind of deterred me away. But if they're able to do prescription lenses and partner with perhaps different vendors relating towards companies that I can order on with my insurance, that actually sounds really good. In terms of a longer term with 2 to 7 year potential, MRI medical imaging, early stage breast cancer screening, non-invasive glucometer, and molecular biosensors all have massive market potential, 2 billion, 4 billion, 15 billions, and $10 billion respectively. They do have different global customers and partners, including Samsung, for instance, just to name one. You have other ones, Denso, AGC, Mazda, Panasonic, and Boeing. Now, in terms of the intellectual properties, they have around 140 filed patents, around 76 granted across 44 patents family, with 28 granted, 5 registered trademarks, and proprietary custom manufacturing process and trade secrets developed over the 10 years is a multi-million-dollar investment. So the investment priorities from 2021 to 2022: acquire and launch pilot scale roll-to-roll-out function, film production capacity or capabilities estimated to be around $10 million capex, customer centers including Meta pilot line to license, train, and sell duplicates internationally, and healthcare and wellness applications led by current customers engagement, estimated spending of $3 million. With applied research and developments, increased headcounts to be estimated spending of $3 million. So in my opinion, currently, we are sitting very closer towards, I would say, the early adopting ranges, or perhaps even the innovator, the chasm, really, if you think about it. So we still have a major point, at least in the early majority, that would go ahead and adapt this technology, and that will bring in millions to the company. Now, in terms of institutional buyers, but before moving on there, if you'd like to see more contents like this, make sure to subscribe on the bottom right corner and turn on your bell notification button. Also, if you enjoyed this video so far, make sure to drop a like to this video, and if you would like to join our Discord, totally free, in the description below. We're not trying to upsell you on anything on there. You can head to trading floors and join the chat. Now, institutional buyers. On the 23rd and 22nd, you get to see that institutions like Belverde Trading, Value Trading have added thousands of shares, to be specific 20,000 shares combined. The daily total market funds, it seems that there has been some changes in the shares, although that's not reported here. And Prokian Private Wealth Partners liquidated their shares on the 22nd. On the 20th, the Royal Bank of Canada took equity off this one, around 20,000 shares. And you get to see that currently there, at least in the last week or so, there has been more institutional adaptation or adoption from this one than before, which is really, really good. It shows that things are starting to balance out. Insiders, again, we don't have much information relating towards this one. On July 23rd, Meta appoints Darren Elhams as Vice President of Business Development of Ophthalmics. And so for this one here, the vice president, he brings over 30 years of experience in ophthalmic products, sales, manufacturing, equipment, and services for prescription lenses and smart augmented reality AR applications. He will be focused on Meta's AR Fusion technology, which combines precision cast lens fabrication tools and functional Meta materials and volume holograms to produce Meta's AR wearable developers with a platform seamlessly to integrate smart technology into thin, lightweight prescription glasses. So to develop a commercially successful augmented reality eyewear business, it is necessary to elegantly combine the attributes of fashionable, lightweight, and comfortable prescription eyewear with embedded smart technologies in display, said George Palikris, the CEO of Meta. We're fortunate to have someone of Darren's breadth of experience join our team as we commercialize the AR Fusion system. So they also, Mr. Ilham Shed said, or Mr. Darren's Ilham Ehmels, my bad, said, I'm excited to join a fast-paced and highly innovative environment like Metamaterials. I look forward to applying my 30 years of experience in this industry, including some pioneering work in the last decade in smart glasses for augmented reality applications, to help Meta expand its business into its key high-growth market. So that's all very bullish. Other things in terms of SEC filing, we get to see that, well, actually the last one was a couple of weeks before, so we already covered that. But we have short volumes that are high up to almost 60%. In the last few days, we see 55, 59, 57, and 54%. That's really massive in terms of the short volume, indicating that shorts are very active, almost more than half of the long volume in the day, which can be a bit troublesome into why this one is still continuing on to not seeing a reversal or bouncing yet. But more to that, let's move on towards the technical analysis. So on a technical analysis perspective, things might look a little bit mixed in different places. For instance, the moving averages was actually a bit more bearish than this for the longest time, and you get to see that it was actually declining, but currently it looks bullish as it kind of stabilizes and accumulates in a horizontal line, which is good. However, 30 EMA is above the 10 SMA and the price point is below the 50 SMA, which makes that bearish. However, also the price point is very close to the 50 SMA at 356. Does it break it above there? It's bullish. Again, so it's kind of mixed on the moving averages. We get to see on the willing percent R, for the majority of the time, it's actually highly oversold, which means that the short selling activity or selling activity is high into this one, as we get to see before. Now, in terms of the MACD, that suggests that we most likely will get a positive reversal in this coming week, which is very nice to hear. And momentum is climbing very close to zero, can be very bullish soon. In terms of stochastic fast and stochastic slow, this one suggests that there is another leg for this one up, and we can still get to see higher price points than we are right now. On the Bollinger Bands and the moving average bands, they're very much agreeing at this point. You can expect this one to trade on the top closer to $4 and in the bottom at $3.23. In terms of the Fibonacci retracement, starting in from around the 1220 all the way to the 309 level, this one you expect this one to trade under resistance at 524, 657, 764, 872, 1025, and 1220. Now, in terms of a price line action, we're seeing significant supports at the 337 and the 309 level. I really don't see it dropping below there, so I think we've reached the bottom. From here up, hopefully we can accumulate and go back upwards. In terms of resistances, 357, 393, going up to 446, 474, 530, 570, and then a very strong one at 674, followed by 772 and 850. Now, Ed, what do you think about this one? Now, let's take a quick look if we have any analyst recommendations relating to this one, and we don't have any on tip ranks. Now, coming into what I think about this one, they have really good technology. I really hope to see this one be at least double-digit stock in the next year or so. And what happened here was basically almost textbook in some sense in the last couple of weeks, and I did get a little bit of heat for saying here, be careful, it's gonna drop and then buy later. But I think right now would be, if you sold here, it would be a bit of a safe bet to buy back into the stock. Now, this is a stock that has a bit of high risk because they don't have the massive production capacity that might be needed by the market in order to achieve high profitabilities. But I do think that there are onto very something special here with their technology, especially relating to 5G, LiDAR, EV, going on with climate change, AR fusion, solar panels. I think that they have a lot of potential, and I can't wait to see their medical applications that they've been talking about. So that is very exciting, and I still remain bullish onto this one, but cautious. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.